Welcome to United Network News, the official news channel for CARE, the Center for Amity and Restoration of Earth. I'm Sunny Galt. At UNN, you get the real news. Through our field messengers, we show you the truth about what's really taking place in our communities. We also bring you stories to help you remember who you are and why you're here, as well as regional stories that impact the people. And our World Situation Report reveals what's happening throughout the multiverse. We are here to restore Earth. In the U.S., it is Wednesday, July 10th, 2024. Residents in Fuerteventura, Spain are getting free trees and plants from their government. Learn more about their efforts to celebrate World Environment Day. And in Uganda, the people are farming some of their top crops together to provide income and food security for the locals. Wouldn't it be great to easily access specific brain waves such as alpha, beta, delta, gamma, and theta? Learn more about technology that can help you reach those states more effectively. As the Summer Olympic Games gear up in Paris, many airport workers plan to strike. And a new report finds toxic chemicals in many feminine hygiene products.
This is Calen Gipp, messenger for United Network News. Here's a look at today's field messenger reports from all around the world. In Fuerteventura, Spain, free plants and trees are distributed during the World Environment Day celebrations. This initiative encourages the community to create gardens that reflect the island's native flora. UNN field messenger Emma brings us the story.
Hi, this is Emma, reporting from Fuerteventura, field messenger for UNN. I'm in a place where the local community gives out plants for free. So with your ID card, you can come and you can get 5 free plants. So they want to make gardens reflect whatever the original plants on this island. So I'm going to go in and see what they have, and it looks like it's very popular. There's loads of cars. It's hard to find a place to park. So at the end of May, the Fuerteventura government, called the Cabildo, announced that they will give out free plants or trees. More than 5,000 copies of different plant species will be distributed, and at the biological station for World Environment Day. So this is like a thing they do when there is election time. They want to support the environment. So the environmental station called the Cabildo of Fuerteventura has organized a series of activities on the occasion of World Environment Day and World Ocean Day. Both days are celebrated under the motto of our territory, our sea, our future, to protect terrestrial and marine ecosystems as a fundamental way to ensure the sustainability future for the next generation. Thank you. Thank you for watching.
Next, we explore the mixed farming of bananas and pineapples in eastern Uganda. These crops provide both income and food security for the local communities. UNN field messenger Mwandha Michael reports on this process.
This is Mwandha Michael, UNN field messenger, reporting from here in Kangulumira village in the Kayunga district, as I visited this area today. Now here is a plantation of bananas, at the same time pineapples, and it's approximately like 4 acres. Each plantation has like 2-3 bunches. If you can cut like 100, that is 1 million shilling. This is a new established garden. Approximately has been here for 1 year, and the bananas also in 2 years time they will be cutting branches of matoke. So this gives Ugandans an opportunity of having balanced food and then the income as well. So from the garden, as you have seen, they bring it here. These are pineapples and they look nice. As you see now, this one is from the gardens. Have brought these pineapples from the business on the main road. Christine is Christine, one of the vendors. She has been in this business for 4 years. And she had some little profit on it so that she can be surviving on it. So that she can be earning on it to get school fees out of it and even to sustain her life. Thank you very much. This is Mwandha Michael, UNN reporting, and I hope to see you next time. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you.
We want you to become a UNN field messenger. These are everyday people just like you who want to make a difference in their community. You don't need any special training or equipment. Just use the camera on your mobile phone and show us what's happening in your area. You send us your videos and our production team will create the report for you. Our website is now up and running at unitednetwork.earth. You can submit your Field Messenger reports directly through the Field Messenger tab at the top of the page. You can also email your reports to our email address at fieldmessenger@unitednetwork.earth.
Hey, I'm Kirsten from Switzerland.
This is Wayne from Tucson.
Hi, my name is Desmond from Ghana.
I am Claudia from Dawsonville, Georgia.
I'm Mikey from Pretoria, South Africa.
Hi, I'm Steve McGrath, Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada.
People from all around the world are coming together.
Happy day, beautiful world. We are here in a rather small urban garden, and this video is just to show you the joys that we've had in this garden with the electric gardening.
When news happens in their area, they show us what's really going on.
We have people in the streets protesting for and against.
At United Network News, our field messengers are changing the face of news.
This is Field Messenger Helen reporting with nature, and I'm going to talk to you about the bees again.
Take the next step in restoring our planet. Become a UNN Field Messenger today.
Hi, I'm Stephanie from South Africa. If it's going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to me. It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to all of us. We're UNN, and we're taking back the news.
You've heard about alpha, beta, delta, gamma, and theta. These are the various stages of brainwaves. Being able to access these stages allows us to change our reality, and you can even do this through technology. Zenka Karo of LightNet helps people remember their amazing superhuman abilities through their online workshops and experiences. Today, Zenka tells us more about a process called Brainwave Entrainment. So today we're probably learning something new. At least for me, I'm learning something new today. It's called Brainwave Entrainment. Zenka came all dolled up. You've got something on here. So tell us what that is.
So this is a brain link, and it's actually sensing my brain waves in real time, and it's showing me am I in delta, theta, alpha, gamma. Ooh, that was a really beautiful thing when it closes down like that. I don't know what the it's a lot.
I can see it now. Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the things we're learning, I just did a massive brain training for a week long at the BioCybernaut Institute. It's an exclusive but very powerful week where you're spending most of the week in a dark room training your brain to go into alpha. Okay. Now, in alpha, it's where you're in a peak flow. You're allowing things to happen around you. You're connected in a loving sense to the people around you. And they claim that if you change your brain waves, you change your reality. So your brain waves are actually determining the way that you experience your entire life. Now, if you're in beta a lot, you're stressed, you're doing tasks, you're not in flow, etc. If you're in theta, which is the step that you go before you go to sleep and the step you're in from 0 to 7 years old, that's where you're actually manifesting things. Some people can even be in theta with their eyes open, like a musician maybe even. So a theta is like a full, almost like a lucid living dream state. And this is where you're going to, like, before you go to bed, you're going to want to imagine the things you're manifesting. So you have your, maybe you're bored or something like that. So because theta doesn't think in words, it thinks in images, right? In pictures. And then you go into delta, which is your dream state, et cetera, et cetera. And gamma is when you're actually in a heightened experience, bending spoons or getting a download or something like that. Well, so now that we can actually use these very inexpensive tools to understand what our brain is doing at any given time, obviously having a full skull cap is better because it's going to measure alpha in different places. One of the things that the Biocybernaut Institute, who've been doing this for decades and decades and decades, have realized is that, well, brain coherence is very important to have your left and right brain in a strength, you know, in a strong strength in alpha and also balanced. If you have alpha in the top of your head, you can actually see angels, which is crazy, but they've verified this again and again and again. There's not that many people that can do it, but there's different patterns, and your brain will be in a different pattern if you're angry or in love, etc. So one of the things that's come out in the market, this was the BrainLink, and this right here is called the Neo Rhythm, and you can put it on, and you can actually, you put it on in different ways, but you can actually open up a program that's going to put you into theta or put you into gamma or put you into lucid dreaming or whatever it is, right? So you can connect to it, and they have different programs that you can run. Now, this bathes your brain in a frequency. Biocybernaut believes you shouldn't be pushing frequencies on your brain and asking to entrain it. So if a wave is going like this, and you've got your brain doing something else, eventually they entrain and they go the same, they lock into the same pattern, right?
Okay.
So, you know, but this is another version of how to do that. So enhanced mental capacity, energy and vitality, lucid dreaming, improved sleep, mindfulness meditation, deep relaxation. So this is lucid dreaming. It's a dominant frequency of 40 hertz, which is gamma. And then it's a accompanying frequency of 4 hertz, which is delta, I believe. So you're actually putting yourself into that state. And so it's very interesting. And these technologies, I think this is around $400, and you can do something else, like, I wouldn't say drive, but you can just be doing your emails or something like that, or even meditating, and this will help you, your brain understand what that frequency is. And HeartMath has also developed wearables that help you entrain your heart and your brain to entrain into a symphonic coherence, is what they call it. So when your brain is doing its own thing, your heart's doing its own thing, but when the electromagnetic fields start to match, incredible things start to happen. You start healing things in your body. It's like a symphonic thing that happens that's actually putting yourself back into coherence. And ironically, when I've done HeartMath and when many people do HeartMath, the way to get into heart-brain coherence is being grateful.
Yeah.
So it's slowing down your physiology, because remember, your heartbeat and your brain are giving signals to how the rest of your body should react at any given time. So when you do HeartMath for, I think, 3 minutes, it lasts for 3 hours, your body is in that Zen state of calm for 3 hours afterwards. And that's why, meditation is so great. And that's why it's so beautiful that citizen scientists like ourselves can start using these. Put yourself in Schumann resonance, then go out and see a UFO. It works.
Yeah.
Schumann resonance is the resonance of the earth and, the planet. It might be changing. Sure. But still, so this is really exciting new technology that's available to us all to play with.
It's nice because a lot of people, sometimes you just have to get out of your head to be able to do some of this stuff, but it's something our body naturally already does, even if we don't recognize it. But I guess what we're doing is tracing the steps. It's a learning tool. Because I do believe we'll get to a stage where we don't need this kind of stuff. We're just naturally going to be like, beep, beep, need to heal that, boom. It's just going to naturally happen. But we've been so indoctrined. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes some of us need, and I know you and I have talked about this before, in your experiences, people need validation and a little bit of proof or a little bit of, oh yeah, I bent the spoon a little bit or I did this a little bit. And I feel like that's what this does. It can give us some of that validation so we feel more comfortable taking that next step until we can do this on our own.
Exactly. It's training wheels so your body understands what it feels like to be in balance, what it feels like to be in alpha, to be in flow. And it's a beautiful state to be in flow because that's where really miracles happen. You're out of your head, you're just in the moment and you're allowing for miracles and other things to happen. It's incredible.
In Cape Town, South Africa, there is a college offering magic as part of their curriculum. Uniting young people from 10 to 17 years old from mixed cultures is boosting their confidence and skills through performance magic. Founded in 1980, this nonprofit college offers courses including card tricks and illusions. Students can progress higher levels and take free extra classes in juggling, ventriloquism, and clowning even. Older advanced students can pursue showmanship and theater production, including sound, lighting, and digital filmmaking. The college offers free enrollment to disadvantaged youth with scholarships and part funding provided by sponsors. Expert volunteer teachers, many of whom are graduates of the college, lead the classes, blending performing arts with subjects like science, math, English, and problem solving. By encouraging values such as honesty, respect, excellence, responsibility, and initiative, the College of Magic offers students essential life and job skills for a magical future. In Western Australia, a unique art exhibit called Giants of Mandurah features giant trolls made from recycled natural materials. These trolls represent the creation stories of the Aboriginal people while promoting eco-consciousness. Each giant took 750 hours to build, with local volunteers helping, and all work was done on site to draw inspiration from nature. Combining modern environmentalism and childhood wonder, this immersive experience highlights the importance of preserving and exploring nature. The exhibit also includes an adventurous game called The Rhythm of Raindrops, where visitors use clues to find hidden giants. The Giants of Mandurah honors the indigenous heritage of the land, providing an opportunity for deeper understanding and connection. In Amsterdam, there is a fashion library called Lena that works with a big shared wardrobe where you can rent clothes, both used and new. Lena is more than just a clothing rental service. It's a commitment to reducing textile waste and promoting sustainable fashion alternatives. Inside, you'll find a large collection of high-quality, neatly sorted designer clothes by brand and style. Each item has a tag showing its price or daily rental cost, which ranges from 55 cents to a couple of euros, depending on how often you borrow clothes. For a 10 euro membership fee, you can access, or you get access to high quality, long lasting clothes, making sustainable fashion more affordable and an eco-friendly way to enjoy a variety of outfits. With more than 6,000 members, Lena offers durable brands and promotes eco-friendly choices. Similar fashion libraries are popping up in Australia, Britain, Canada, France, and Switzerland, proving that style and sustainability can go hand in hand. We are United Network News. Every day, we release real stories from real people all over the world.
Field Messenger reporting from Gold Coast, Australia,
Denmark,
Canada,
Uganda,
from Atlanta,
In Southern California.
In their own words, people like you share what's really happening in their area. At UNN, you are the news. You are creating a new world with infinite possibilities. You are the restoration plan. Come join us for the real news every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, only on United Network. We're UNN, and we're taking back the news. Protests have erupted in Barcelona, Spain, as locals express discontent over the impact of mass tourism on housing costs. Housing rents have surged by 68%, and the cost of buying a house has increased by 38% in the past decade. Many local shops are closing, making way for stores that do not cater to resident needs. The city's mayor announced a ban on tourist apartment rentals by 2028, aiming to return more than 10,000 apartments to the local housing market. This move is facing legal challenges from the Tourist Apartments Association, which warns it could worsen poverty and unemployment. Other Spanish tourist hotspots across Spain have also seen similar protests. The government plans to create a registry of holiday rental properties by 2025 to regulate listings. Critics argue these measures are inadequate, calling for stricter regulations and higher taxes on landlords. In France, unions at Paris's airports have called for a strike on July 17th over a dispute regarding bonuses for staff. The unions are demanding an Olympics bonus for all staff, criticizing the chief executive's decision to grant it to only some personnel. The strike could significantly impact the thousands of athletes and up to 350,000 visitors expected to arrive daily during the games. The upcoming strike raises concerns about potential delays and inconvenience for Olympic participants. Public sector workers across France, including police, air traffic controllers, and metro drivers, are also seeking extra pay or support for working during the games. Strike actions have already affected various sectors, including the National Mint, responsible for producing Olympic medals, though production remains on schedule. Dyson is cutting about 1,000 jobs in the UK as part of a global restructuring, impacting more than a quarter of its British workforce. Employees were informed on Tuesday about the cuts, which are part of a broader cost reduction drive affecting the company's 15,000 employees worldwide. Dyson, known for its innovative vacuum cleaners, hand dryers, and bladeless fans, employs 3,500 people in the UK. The CEO says the restructuring resulted from a review to ensure the company's preparedness for the future. He emphasized the highly competitive and rapidly changing global markets in which Dyson operates and assured support for those affected. The business, which moved its headquarters to Singapore in 2019, continues to focus on research and development in the UK. Johnson & Johnson has decided not to enforce its patent on a tuberculosis drug following an investigation by South African authorities. This move will lower the drug's cost by about 40%, making it accessible for those in need. The South African Competition Commission opted not to prosecute Johnson & Johnson, despite allegations of patent abuse. Experts argue the patent prevented cheaper generic versions, putting the health of tens of thousands of South Africans at risk. Tuberculosis is the leading cause of death in South Africa, killing more than 50,000 people in 2021. Activist groups offered a positive reaction, hoping it would set a precedent against pharmaceutical monopolies prioritizing profit over public health. With the patent lift, local manufacturers could soon produce the drug. In Nigeria, bushmeat consumption remains a persistent cultural tradition despite significant public health risks. Bushmeat is a meat from wildlife species that are hunted for humans to eat. About 45% of the population regularly consumes bushmeat, including antelope, rabbit, and alligator, valued for its taste and cultural significance. Experts warn bushmeat consumption poses substantial health risks, especially given Nigeria's weak healthcare infrastructure. About 60% of all infectious diseases are zoonotic, with Nigeria having a high prevalence of pathogens such as Ebola and Lassa fever. Public health authorities stress the need for heightened awareness and safer consumption practices. Recommendations include exploring domestic protein sources like chicken and increasing public education. Private U.S. insurance firms running Medicare Advantage programs have been overcharging the federal government billions of dollars by exaggerating patient illnesses. Insurers receive higher payments for treating patients with more severe conditions. An analysis of diagnosis from 2018 to 2021 shows insurers added many questionable conditions to patient charts, even when no treatment was provided. These added diagnoses resulted in about $50 billion in excess payments. United Health is the worst offender, earning $8.7 billion in 2021 from such diagnosis. This raises concerns for patients who are unaware of these false diagnoses, which might lead to incorrect medical records and potentially compromised care. Rather than saving money, Medicare Advantage has added significant costs, contradicting its initial goal of providing more efficient health care. Boeing has agreed to plead guilty to a U.S. criminal fraud charge related to the crashes of two 737 MAX jetliners, resulting in the deaths of 346 passengers. This plea has deeply angered the families of these victims who sought a trial. The government had previously deferred prosecution in exchange for compliance and safety investments, but recent safety violations reopened the case. Now, Boeing will pay a $243.6 million fine and invest $455 million in safety for 3 years, pending judicial approval. Victims' families argue a plea deal is too lenient and fails to hold Boeing adequately accountable. They are frustrated with the financial penalty, arguing it should be in the billions to impact Boeing's safety practices. The agreement also allows the government to appoint a corporate monitor, addressing concerns that Boeing would oversee itself. Vending machines that sell ammunition have been installed in several grocery stores across the United States. These machines, available 24/7, allow customers older than 21 to purchase ammunition easily. The machines use AI technology, card scanning, and facial recognition to verify buyers' identities, aiming to ensure responsible purchases. Currently, 8 machines are installed or in the process of being installed across 4 states, with more than 200 additional stores requesting units. Some people appreciate the convenience and security of these machines, while others are concerned about the ease of access to ammunition. The legality of these machines has been questioned, but authorities confirm they comply with federal and state laws. Also in the U.S., scientists have detected toxic chemicals and metals in tampons, posing serious health risks to women. A recent study tested 30 tampons from 14 brands, finding harmful metals like arsenic, lead, and mercury in each type. The contamination varied by region and whether tampons were organic or branded. Between 52% and 86% of American women use tampons, which can absorb these metals directly into the body, increasing risks for dementia, cancer, infertility, and diabetes. Organic tampons had more arsenic, while non-organic ones had higher lead levels. Metals can enter tampons through contaminated cotton or additives used in manufacturing. Researchers emphasize no level of these metals is safe and call for stringent testing and better labeling to inform consumers. Argentina's government has officially closed the Calen state news agency, transforming it into an advertising and state propaganda agency. Founded in 1945 with more than 700 employees at its closure in March, Calen will now be known as the State Advertising Agency. The new agency will develop, produce, market, and distribute national and international advertising material. The closure aims to address millions in operating losses and realign the agency's strategic focus. The change has sparked outrage amongst press unions and workers who argue it threatens freedom of expression and public media's social role. The transition leaves many workers facing job uncertainty, with some being laid off and others reassigned to the new agency. Amazon plans to build a top-secret data cloud in Australia to store classified military and intelligence information in a $2 billion deal with the federal government. 3 highly secured data centers will be built in undisclosed locations within Australia to support the top-secret cloud, managed by Amazon Web Services subsidiary. The project, expected to be operational by 2027, will employ advanced artificial intelligence technology, with Australia maintaining full sovereignty over the cloud. Similar clouds exist in the US and UK for information sharing, with intelligence officials noting adversaries are investing in similar tech. The cloud is expected to enhance collaboration with American and British spy networks, improving threat detection capabilities. The Prime Minister announced the project will create 2,000 jobs, boosting the defense and intelligence sector. New Zealand has announced a major easing of zoning restrictions to increase land availability for housing. The reforms will require local councils to plan for 30 years of population growth instead of 3, freeing up substantial additional space for housing development. Councils will be prohibited from imposing urban limits and will be compelled to allow mixed-use developments, with an end to rules mandating balconies and minimizing apartment sizes. This move has gained support from analysts who believe it could alleviate the chronic housing shortage. Although previous efforts to make housing affordable were cautious, current public opinion favors change as younger generations struggle to buy homes. The opposition criticizes these reforms, arguing infrastructure funding is essential and warning against urban sprawl and low-quality housing. The government in New Zealand is considering lifting its ban on genetic engineering. This decision, expected in the next 3 months, aims to introduce gene technology to various sectors. Critics highlight concerns pointing to the unregulated biotech practices in the U.S., suggesting a similar outcome could occur in New Zealand. New Zealand's government has focused on reducing livestock methane emissions, investing millions in biotechnological solutions like feed additives and engineered grasses. Critics argue animals have naturally emitted methane for millennia without causing climate catastrophe. The government is also funding an RNA platform for health applications, including mRNA vaccines for livestock, which some fear could have unforeseen risks. Despite efforts to expand biotechnology, there's significant consumer resistance. Singapore is experiencing the worst congestion at its container port since the pandemic, impacting global supply chains and causing shipping rates to surge. This transshipment hub, which connects more than 600 ports in 123 countries, is seeing a domino effect on neighboring ports, particularly in Malaysia. Ships rerouted to avoid Red Sea conflicts have created bottlenecks in other Asian and European ports, leading to increased congestion in Singapore. The shipping crisis could add significant inflationary pressure, which some estimates suggest a 0.7 percentage point increase to global core goods inflation. A surge in vessel volume, especially from China, and an early peak shipping season are adding to the strain. New tariffs on various imports have prompted companies to rush shipments, further complicating the situation. South Korea has announced it will no longer suspend the licenses of striking junior doctors, hoping to end a prolonged medical impasse. Despite this concession, it is unclear if the thousands of striking doctors will resume their duties immediately. More than 90% of the country's 13,000 medical interns and residents have been on strike since February. They have been protesting a plan to increase medical school admissions, which doctors argue could degrade education quality. This strike has significantly disrupted university hospitals and threatened medical services, particularly affecting patients requiring urgent care. The government's decision not to suspend licenses prioritizes reducing the medical service gap and training system disruptions. However, some critics argue the move could be seen as unfair compared to previous labor strikes. A proposed human milk bank in Pakistan, initially approved by religious scholars, has hit a setback after the withdrawal of clerical support. The bank, intended to aid premature infants by providing donor milk, was challenged due to concerns about maintaining strict religious guidelines. Critics argue kinship bonds in Islam, which forbid marriage between children fed by the same woman, complicate the milk bank's feasibility. Despite this, health experts emphasize the necessity of human milk to prevent severe infections in premature babies. They stress formula milk is not an adequate substitute and poses additional health risks. The financial burden of formula milk also strains families. Concerns over proper sterilization practices and water quality further emphasize the need for human milk banks. OpenAI has announced it will block users from China starting July 9th. This block means Chinese developers can no longer use VPNs to access the U.S. tools, affecting their AI application development and research. This decision follows rising U.S.-China tensions and U.S. restrictions on exporting advanced semiconductors to China. The decision has caused concern within the Chinese AI community, but it also presents an opportunity for domestic companies to gain users previously reliant on the U.S. provider. We have an exciting new announcement. We have launched a new global TV service specifically for the UNN community. Thousands of live TV channels, 60,000 movies on demand, over 30 languages, and live sports from around the globe. Between all the separate streaming services and cable for live TV and sports packages, it could cost well over $200 a month. But now with United TV, you can have it all for only $15.99 a month. Go to unitedtv.org and check it out. Get so much more for so much less.
And now, the World Situation Report with Kimberly Gogan from the Office of the Guardian. The military thinks they are in charge as they were issued special approvals from someone who turns out to be just a man with some fancy rings and a title that means nothing. What is worse is that the man is Chinese. As the United Nations Office of International Treasury Control falters and the assignments they stole disappear, there are banks defaulting everywhere. There were 3 men, now 1, who were attempting to run the world using the old assignments they stole from Kim. The plot thickens as more information has come to light.
Now here's Kimberly Gogan with the Office of the Guardian. Hello, Kim.
Good morning. Where are you?
I'm on Eastern time, so it's afternoon my time.
Okay. Good afternoon, good morning.
Yes. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Sorry about the little bit of delay here. I just, things are really starting to heat up everywhere since the disappearance of a lot of these OITC accounts, and a lot has been going on for the last 2 days. So,
okay.
Shall we start with the plot thickens?
Yes.
Okay. So the Angel Marcos guy that we showed you in the last news report is actually still in jail, but still operating.
Okay.
But it turns out he's part of a larger network of people. Now, in the past, there were 3, usually men, that were what you would call the ultimate head of the Order of the Black Sun. Okay. They were over predominantly the Eagles, and one of them played the role of the good guy, or a white, they call him the white person. Like, there's no real title for this guy. Okay. The other one was neutral. He was playing the role of balance, keeping things neutral, and then the other one would be considered the black person, not physically in color, but he was to play the role of the dark. And the 3 of them would, in the past, try to maintain balance on the planet. Originally, they were 3 different covens. And they all reported to the same people we discussed earlier, Monday. What day is it? On Monday. Now, the 3 original gentlemen are gone.
Okay.
But originally 3 people came in and took their place. The one who played the role of the white had passed away, so the black gentleman decided to be both. And this guy, yes, I'm calling him Mr. Black, Mr. White, because there's no title for these coven people.
Okay.
So there were 3 people that came in and started to play the role of coven leaders. And these, they're now down to 2, and then as of this morning, they're now down to none. However, we found one of them hiding out under the central bank in Thailand, one of them hiding out in Jamaica, another one hiding out in Bhutan, and they had each had respectively, one of them was a clone, and then each one had 2 clones left. I know, doppelgangers, whatever you want to call them. And they were playing the role of the 3 men who run the world.
Wow. They had that much authority, Kim?
No, but they play one on TV, if you're old enough to remember that one. I'm not really a doctor, but I play one on TV. These people aren't really have any authority, but they play one. But the entire world was hanging on everything that these 2 men said.
Wow.
The entire world. Meaning the Pentagon, okay, on Monday, which was rather confusing, Monday afternoon, after we recorded the news, actually went to the Treasury and tried to issue Treasury notes based on the fact that they said they had an approval to do this. And they were all happy. They had gotten the approval apparently sometime over the weekend. And they tried to issue an enormous amount of Treasury notes against what they thought was these accounts. But as I had told you on Monday, I started working feverishly throughout the weekend and also on Monday and any remnants left on Tuesday to get rid of everything that was hanging there in Web 5.
Mm-hmm.
So turns out whatever they were planning on leveraging was against one of the things that I had taken out, so nothing actually worked. But this left everybody really confused because they thought that they were in charge. They're even reporting online that the military is now in charge of the financial system, quantum financial systems, all these types of things. And it was because one of these men gave them approval. Now, this particular man also held the title of Golden Eagle, which is why their approval came on a yellow paper. And he is also Chinese. I know.
Paper.
You cannot make this stuff up. I'm like, the whole world is listening to these people?
They're waiting for a yellow piece of paper.
So turns out what happened to Angel Marcos is once I had done the assignments way back in 2012, he eventually was forced into jail by these same people, and then they took over everything and told them, the whole world, that these assets were theirs.
Did they have any proof? Like they can just say stuff and people just believe them because of a title?
Yeah, and some rings and maybe some fancy jewelry and stuff and a suit. I don't know. I know. I need a Chinese man costume stat. Anybody is a costume maker listening to this report, I need to be an old Chinese man with some funky jewelry because apparently that gets the job done every time. But the Pentagon was dependent on them, Treasury, everybody was dependent on them. But remember, this was something, if you had a higher clearance, you could actually see. It's just that nobody could touch it.
Okay.
And so this was the base root behind them claiming that they had control over everything and that there was cryptocurrency involved and all kinds of things. So over the last couple of days, since we started the end of last week, making things disappear, over 40 banks in China have gone belly up.
Is that coming out in the media at all? Because I haven't seen anything.
Yes.
It is.
We've got a video clip of that. Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So this is one of the banks, obviously.
This is the central bank, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously these are people that have accounts that want to get in and they're not able to access anything. They just got cut off.
Well, these 40 smaller banks were absorbed into some larger banks, but there's a lot of people's accounts that didn't quite migrate over. There's there are database issues, and a lot of people in Hong Kong and in China are having a lot of difficulty accessing their money they had on deposit.
Wow.
China was in really deep in this situation due to the fact that they had created, or the deep state of China had created, their own fake Mei Hua, who took up residency in the Jade Temple in Shanghai. So fake Mei Hua was giving instructions to the fake generals, the Mr. Black, Mr. White, Mr. Neutral over there, and they created this worldwide scam based on assignments I did years ago. So because of the report that we put out on Monday, everybody's starting to figure out what's really happening. Okay. Now, even the fake Mei Hua and the fake generals had no idea I was the one that made the assignments until Monday. So by last night, these gentlemen, thank God, desperation leads to, well, in this case, death, but it actually leads for people to do desperate things and not really think when they do things, and panic sets in. So because these guys made all these promises to all these governments, this was even discussed at the G8. Oh, yes.
So when the operatives got together before the G8 really started.
Oh, yeah, a month, 2 months before. And all these countries were signing up. So far, we've received calls from Thailand. We've received calls from the Philippines, Vietnam, Laos, a couple of different countries in Europe as to what the heck is going on. Because this was what was holding up the entire financial system of the world in the promise that money from there was going to be released by the 15th of July. Oh, dear. A whole lot of promises and a whole lot of no delivery. So when it all started disappearing, countries started panicking. We received panic calls from China overnight last night saying, we have gold, we have gold. I said, are you sure you do? No, you don't. Because that went as part of that OITC system. They had actually assigned gold, not assigned it as an ownership transfer, but had assigned gold to every country in the world as part of that system. Wow. From the assignments that I did and the depositories that I put there. I mean, I was so like, are you kidding me right now? But it all tied back to these few people. And technically, they're not even the original people. They are doppelgangers or clones or whatever you want to call them, playing the role.
So that was just for the humans. That was a front for the humans, right? Because if they really think that some aliens are going to, you know, be fooled by someone in a mask or a doppelganger, clone, whatever, obviously that wouldn't happen. Right?
Well, I don't even think these people are aware of who is really behind them.
Oh.
The only thing they knew most recently is that they're now in trouble because they started receiving lots of phone calls as things disappeared. Yeah. Oh, it's just a glitch. Don't worry. We're going to take care of it. Now, there was a phone call that was placed last night to a person I know and speak to directly from one of these men that this person thought was the end-all be-all of the financial system of the world. Because people don't know, you know, a lot of these operatives and stuff don't know.
Yeah.
And this happens to be someone I know directly. And this guy was actually involved in some of the trading of the off-ledger funds.
Okay.
You know, of course, the money couldn't come out yet. You know, they'll have allocations when the Federal Reserve contract transfers over. Don't worry. You know, we're taking it all over. Yeah, right. But this person, one of these guys that we're discussing, it was actually Mr. Black and White. Let's call him Mr. Black and White. Mr. Black and White called this person directly and tried to order this guy to call me and make me a ridiculous offer.
Why can't they just call you directly, this guy? Just not wanting to give you credibility?
Personally, they always have their people handle things. They don't, you know, they keep this like guard of anonymity or something. You know, it's like to show power or something. And actually, this person had never even spoken to this guy directly before, ever. He always had someone in between.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks that those someones in between are the ones that are in charge, too. So it kind of keeps that anonymous thing going. Because remember, out of these people, two of them, out of the two that were left, I should say, out of these people, both of them had actually been declared legally dead.
It's such a strange world.
Oh, my God. Their whole world is crazy. You know, they loved masked people. They loved doppelgangers. They loved, you know, to keep the illusion alive of power. But this guy had no choice but to call somebody, anybody that he knew directly that would call me and get me to do a reassignment to them.
Yeah.
Now, I'm supposed to be having this phone call today. He doesn't know that I know that this phone call was made. Additionally, in addition to that, some of the government departments that were dependent on this, whatever you want to call it, fake scam, worldwide scam of every country in the world, they would also like to make me an offer. And from what I understand, they teeter-tottered around the percentages that I would get for replacing this facility. And they would like to give me 1%. That's what they landed on, 1%. And the more, of course, I put in, the more I'll get.
You hold the cards.
See, Sonny, you're so smart when it comes to this. Now, the 2% agreement I had years ago had to do with an old agreement that I inherited that had lasted for over 100 years. I obviously am not 100 years old. I feel it some days, but not today. So I'm like, that ship sailed, honey. That ship sailed like 5, 6, 7 years ago. That is sailed. Woo, way out the window. So I know that these people would love to have their stuff back, really, I do. But unfortunately, overnight, last night, they all passed away, including the lady in Shanghai. So there's really no one. Now, are they going to put another fake person with the same name in that same slot? I don't know. I don't know who's next. But it would be wise, if you're listening to this, not to take that position, because I promise you, you're going to land in a whole sack of crap with nothing to offer anybody except for a lie, a pretty ring, and a strange-looking necklace. That's all.
Yeah.
So connections and all of this stuff. Now, to further add to this, these people are actually even ordering people like the Palavancinis, the Silent Circle, Orsini's. Oh, yes. And this is why everything is screwed up in this world, because nothing is making any sense. Because they don't know what the heck they're doing.
Yeah. And nobody knows the structure. Nobody knows how things were really set up.
No.
Yeah.
They just know that this guy had some stuff. And at the time, there was that UN line, UNOITC line there. And they put the stuff in there. And then these guys came in and took it over. So it's dog eat dog when you want world domination. And who's going to be on top? It's like that game that you play with your hands, as a kid. You put whoever's hand lands on top wins, But this whole thing is crumbling. And it's starting to hit home with banks in China and in other places because they were the most heavily leveraged. But when it comes to the U.S., so far today, they're telling the banks that it's just a glitch and that we'll have the system back up later today. Now, why is that? They think that this person they're going to have talk to me is actually bought into the program, which from what I can tell is not. Now, I don't think he understands the extent of the amount of people that are aware that this person exists. I don't think he is aware. He's fully well aware of his technologies and his capabilities. Let's put it that way, because he's been a financial contract operative for a number of governments, meaning he's run trade programs, operations, high level leveraging and those kind of things for years, on the promise that he was just looking to finish up some technology of his own that he'd like to own on his own, that he has, and then he wants to buy some other telecommunications, that kind of stuff. I mean, he's not really looking to have billions and billions of dollars, and he definitely hates the Fed. He hates, so the mindset is right. I just think he thought that he was doing something good by trying to hold up the financial system, and the new QFS is coming out, and everybody's sold the same bill of goods by the same crazy people with some proof that there's something there that could potentially be released in the future.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, at the base root of that ugly tree was something I had done in 2012. Isn't that crazy? The base root of every war, Gaza, SSP, crazy people, Trump in office, who's backing who, political operatives, movements that you're seeing in the news that sound crazy, both alt media and the media, all of it traces back to these guys who stole something I did way back in 2012. Now, I have learned an awful lot since 2012. I have been schooled by every operative in every country and every language you can possibly imagine since that time. And I can promise you that I have no respect for any of these people. And as I have proven overnight, everything bleeds and everything dies. And I've told them that. And I also had a very heated phone conversation with somebody. And, like I said, you call the right phone. It's not this person that I was talking to. It's the phone. And I said, I don't care if we have a government or not.
Yeah.
I don't care if they want to listen to these crazy people. These people at global headquarters even went over to Thailand and did the weirdo ceremony and got some stupid clearance that doesn't work. Got some codes, master keys, and it doesn't work.
Did they know that?
Of course they know it doesn't work. We run up against each other every day. I'm like, access what? No, denied.
Denied.
Denied. Push the deny button. I don't even think my button that says deny actually it's like so worn out now from using, like how your space bar, gets, it usually gets all worn out.
Yeah. The letters are gone. Yeah.
Yeah. And the plastic starts to even have a little dip in it after a while if you had the computer long enough. Yeah. That's my deny button. And I'm like, where are they getting this information from? Who the heck is doing? Now I know.
Wow.
So dead guy over there had to die before I had this phone conversation I'm supposed to have today. And anybody else who thinks I'm going to take 1% probably will also pass away before this phone conversation takes place later on this afternoon. Because no way am I going to participate in this, whatever that it was. But this particular person does have the technology to do a lot of things for life assurance. He has a lot of telecommunications experience. He has a lot of algorithms. He has a lot of trading. There could be, it would take me probably an hour to set up a platform for this guy to help the people. That, of course, would be underneath my system and something that we also would need to talk about how the structure is different and that kind of thing. But he could make a lot of money and do a lot of good things as long as he understands that there could be possibly good things for, he's got a particular, I don't know. We'll see. In some ways he's been messed around, in a lot of ways by the DOD, by a lot of different government departments. So there'd have to be some kind of a structure there, whereas he would come under a different umbrella, that kind of thing, and help us with cybersecurity and stuff like that, and be paid very well for doing that. We'll see. We'll see which side of the fence he plays on once he has all the information and all the details. But it could get very interesting. But as far as these people and their approval from One Hung Lo over there in Thailand or something, I cannot help you. I don't know that person. I wasn't involved in that. And why do you expect me to clean up their mess?
Yeah.
No, we're here to be very, very clear. We are here to support humanity through this change and restore not only the planet, but also the people. Yeah. Now, as far as the 90% of the people or 95% of the people on this planet that have no idea what I'm talking about right now, we all as a collective group are going to support the people. Mm-hmm. We will have new programs, new ways of getting food, new agricultural programs, all kinds of things that will support the people in a sovereign way, meaning I don't need to control it. I just need to somewhat, in some way, the management team of CARE will be, for lack of a better term, managing it until people can manage everything themselves. You know, we're not creating new dictators here or anything like that. We are looking to fix, because every system is broken. And we can't go back. There's no going back. Our water systems are terrible. Even in first world countries, if that's what you want to call them, and I hate using that term because people are people, land is land. But even in America, our sewage systems are horrible. Our water systems are terrible. We need, our bridges are falling apart. Our roads are falling apart. I mean, every system is broken, even in Europe. I mean, I've stayed in 5-star hotels in Europe in the past, obviously not recently, but in the past where I turn on the tub to take a bath and the water runs brown.
So Kim, I'm staying in a hotel right now. I was telling Mike this before we started recording. This is a very well-known hotel. I'll just leave it at that. Whole structure of hotels right around the country. We have no air conditioning. It broke. The staff is almost zero. There was like one person working last night. The telephones went dead. We have internet. That's how I'm able to talk to you right now. There's stains all over everything. The furniture's falling apart. And this is a top hotel chain. So I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like, what is going on here? This stuff is falling apart, and this is not how it always, was. This was a very well-respected hotel chain not too long ago.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think you're in like roadside motel, the no-tell motel. Yeah.
No.
I know.
In a big city too. So yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, it's incredible to me just how bad everything has gotten, because remember, the government feeds the beast.
Yep.
They used to do long-term contracts every year to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars with all the major chains. In the event of a disaster or personnel need to travel and stay at like a Marriott, from the Pentagon into a foreign country or something like that. They would have these big contracts and they would get the first right of refusal on rooms. Same thing with United Airlines, American Airlines. And as the beast is no longer feeding the 10,000 corporations that were listed underneath this thing, you're going to see a lot more of this stuff breaking down. You're going to see shortages of your non-favorite processed, disgusting foods. You'll start seeing everything break down as those corporations are not being fed, and the credit lines that they had against fake assets go away. Remember, these guys were all about controlling every single thing in the world, but yet had no mental capacity to even understand that if they had achieved their goal.
Yeah.
So are there more people with these people? I have no idea. But at this point in time, they have left every country that signed up for this crazy scam, including the United States, like dry.
Wow.
And those assignments expired anyway, more than 2 years ago. I just didn't know that they were still using them for something crazy and to scam people and to scam countries out of money. What are they going to do from here? Is there going to be a war? Are people going to continue to operate under the pretense that this is going to work? I have no idea. But the one thing I can tell you is that regardless of which way my phone conversation goes this afternoon, I am not participating in your cray-cray.
What do you think about the banks? We talked a little bit about the banks in China, but what about USA banks and other banks around the world? Are you expecting banks to start to go under, or what do you think?
Banks need to make a life choice at this point, because the fantasy and the false assets are not there. Right now, they're telling everybody that it's just a computer glitch. I mean, it's only Wednesday, all this stuff started disappearing on Monday. It's just a glitch, we'll get it fixed. Give us till Friday, just hang on there, don't worry about it, kind of thing. And come next week, things are going to start getting really desperate. I don't see a run on the banks, depending on how this goes today. There could be a lot of other positive things that could come out of this. meaning different relationships, different service fees, different service providers instead of custodial and this asset weirdo thing. And then remember, the agreement with the Federal Reserve already expired, although these banks are under the impression that it was extended till July 15th, which was a lie.
Okay.
So banks right now are living also a lie, thinking that they have contracts with the Fed until at least the 15th of July this year. And once they find out they don't, I mean, it's 5 days away. I mean, literally that's next week. So, can we make some kind of deal in the interim? Can we get this ball rolling in another direction? I don't know if we can do it in 5 days or not, but the one thing is for sure that they're going to figure out that that dog doesn't hunt anymore. At some point, everybody kind of starts paying attention. The Fed is panicking right now. I know that there's a lot of tension there today because the information is getting out there that they also have been lied to. They're waiting for a phone call back from a dead person as well. So is the military here in the U.S. So,
for those agreements, Kim, that have expired, is it worth sending them or somehow connecting them to the archivist for information on that so we don't have to wait until the 15th? Or is it just better to let this thing play out?
Well, here's the problem with that. So on Sunday night, I know that the archivist had a meeting with some military people on Sunday, and they, obviously showed their approval from crazy person, crazy Asian, and they obviously didn't hear them well enough because on Monday they still went to the Treasury to do the same thing they were planning on doing anyway. In their opinion, they just want they would rather listen to a pleasant lie than the ugly truth. They're going to try it anyway, and it failed anyway, just like the archivist told them it was going to fail, and that all roads lead to Kim. Well, then we did the report on Monday, and they started thinking, but they don't know this angel person. They only know one hung low there in Thailand or wherever they go. Those are the people that they know and recognize as the ultimate authority. So now the word is getting out that they're not the ultimate authority, and nobody's calling anybody back. So you may want to send somebody, if you're with the military or global headquarters or whoever you are, over there to do a wellness check on your friends, because we did leave the one in Thailand under the central bank, but in the palace, sorry, not the central bank. So we'll see, we'll see if this information comes to light, for them. They're a little slow on the uptick. So, there's probably a little bit more cleanup I've been doing this morning of some other things, just some fake mirrored accounts and things like that. So it's not an easy cleanup. It was a mess. It was a hot mess. Tied to the central banking system and all kinds of different things. And we'll clean it all up because it doesn't need to be there. And not only that, some of the people involved there have been using those little webs and lines and networks and that kind of thing to block us from transferring. So I don't really want to run into these people anymore. They said they want to go it alone. I guess we'll go it alone too and just do what we do. And we'll see, if we have a new person that's willing to participate in that by the end of the day. So I'll report on that on Friday and let you know how that goes. But there's more and more people that are starting to question, what is the reality here? What is the financial reality? Where's the money? Where's the, what is this new currency? What is it? There are countries asking us for credits and credits against gold that I know they don't have. So I don't know if they didn't go to check overnight or what. I don't know. But it's all It's all going to go away. You know, if I miss something, it'll go away in the next 24 hours because I'm just going one thing after another thing after another thing until it's all gone. And the scam is over and the people are gone. And are they going to appoint new people? I have no idea. But, you know, you can't perform either. You know, people are calling those people, telling them to fix it because they're the ones that have told everybody they're in charge of this show.
Yeah.
So go fix it. Yeah. That's not happening. So they're trying to buy time. They are trying to buy time to the 15th, claiming, and this is what they've been doing even before the stuff went to disappear, they're claiming they can't issue new allocations under the new quantum financial system until the agreement with the Fed expires on the 15th of July. Yeah. Come the 15th of July, you'll be no better off than you were on the 14th or today.
Yeah, there'll be another excuse.
But because you have a cool looking Chinese mask and a cool looking jewelry and a cool suit, you know, everybody listens to you. So I'm going to be in the market pretty soon for some kind of a Chinese man mask. You know, anybody maybe that worked in the mask division of the CIA, you know, just go ahead and, you know, let me know where I can order one from and I'll get right on that because it seems to work.
Apparently.
Yeah. And then you have to act like an arrogant donkey. You know, you have to be really arrogant and disgusting behavior and, you know, expect all the best of everything to be handed to you, that kind of stuff. So I can get an attitude like that. I can do that. If it's going to make, you know, the world work, you know, fine.
Wow.
It's crazy. I know. Wouldn't that be funny? I'll come on to do the news in my Chinese man costume.
Is that you, Kim? Who is that?
Yeah, you got to be an old Chinese man to get anything done in this world.
Yeah, you need one of those voice modulator things. I was watching, well, I wasn't really watching. My family was watching something on Fox News or whatever, and Trump, there was a soundbite from Trump, and I was like, does anyone notice that doesn't even really sound like him? Like,
Yeah.
what? They're just like, you know, watching the TV. I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, but you need one of those little voice modulator things to make you sound like
well, I can call Team Bubba and get one because apparently they have one.
Oh, God.
Remember that?
Oh, their AI stuff that they like to mix up and edit clips to say whatever they want to say. Yeah.
Well, it's over now. Apparently they quit, so.
Yeah, well, they should have. They should have quit a long time ago. They're not very good at their job.
No, God bless them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's pretty much what's going on in the world right now. We're kind of, and that's part of the reason why I was a little bit late in recording is because it's just starting to ripple out. You know, It takes a little while when something this major happens for it to ripple out. Then, of course, there's the lies that go along with it. Just hang on, there's a glitch, blah, blah, blah. We're installing the upgraded version, you know, all of this crazy stuff. And really, it's just all dependent on poor guy that I'm going to get on the phone with in a couple hours. Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, there were never any glitches before, but now there's glitches everywhere. But don't worry, it's okay. We've got this under control.
Yeah. Maybe my Chinese name should be Glitch.
Glitch? I don't think that sounds very Chinese.
Oh. Oh, Glitch.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Those guys are...
All right, I'll keep thinking about it. Maybe there's whatever the Chinese word is for glitch, you know.
Yeah, we may have to do some research on that.
I know. I'll research it and get back to you, China. Oh, what a day.
I know. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. You've got your meeting today, you said, with that guy?
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens between now and Friday.
All right.
Hopefully we'll have some good news for CARE.
That would be amazing. Yeah. So let's hope for wise decisions on their part.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kim.
Have a good Wednesday.
All right. You too.
Want to share news from UNN? Help us change the face of social media and use it for good. Connect with us through our online channels. Our social media team creates clips from each newscast you can easily share with people you care about. That's also where you'll find our UNN Meme of the Day, a great way to encourage critical thinking. Links to all our social media sites are available at the bottom of our website at unitednetwork.earth. Let's change the face of news together.
And that wraps up today's news update. Please share UNN with your friends and family. We need everyone to come together and help restore our planet. When news happens in your area, record and share it with us so together we can share it with the world. Remember, if it's going to be, it's up to me. I'm Sunny Galt. Join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for The Real News.